Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today it's Tuesday. Just filling up the loader before we empty some of these bales off the trailer because I want to use that trailer soon for moving some more straw, so hang on a minute, I'll just fill it up. Empty at the moment, always is this time of the year, the loader. Oh, it gets used every day, I think. There we go. This is so much better, this one, than our old diesel tank, which was gravity fed. This one's got a little motor. Haven't changed the filter on it. I need to get a new filter at some point. And these can clog up now a lot of the time with a lot of the sort of new biodiesel they're bringing out. So yeah, I need to write that down and buy a new one of those at some point. And then on the trigger there, when you latch it on, it'll stay on auto and it'll trip off. I can't tell you how many times growing up with our old gravity fed one, when the switch would be on and it wouldn't cut off and it'd go everywhere and I'd miss it. So it's a real luxury having the auto shut off. Whilst that's just filling up, some of you guys have been saying about the Manitou, it needs a good wash off. It could really do with a clean, to be fair, at this time of the year. The thing is, you wash it and then the next day it's just covered in mud again. But since I put that loader grease on a little while ago, it's been a pretty worthwhile endeavour. Yeah, I should really clean it off again at some point. But like I say, this time of the year it's just feeding the cows all the time. So. And these are some of the logs which we split up the other day. I think it's a half-ton bag. And these should dry out fairly well, but it's made a big difference. There goes the trip. Well, I hope you can see just on the left, we've recently started to use up some of these straw bales on the left-hand side of the stack. We come in here for straw for the cattle. We've used all that hay up almost, which was made with the coon rake when I first got that. And then just at the end, I've currently taken the front box off, you can see over there, put the front loader on again in a bit. Just at the end, the straw that side we use for the stables for horses. So horse straw's that side and then cattle straw from this side. Works pretty well. And then we'll probably use this straw up by, I'd say July, when we get some more straw this year, which will be for harvest 2022. Fortunately, I can't see out the window today for some reason. It's a bit foggy. There she is. Sportsman's. Come on. And subsoiler wise, I think I finally found one. It's just a twin leg, quite a cheap one. It hasn't got a roller or anything like that, but I think it will do the job. We don't really need anything too expensive, to be fair. Just something simple which will do the job, you know, for the subsoiler. So hopefully that'll be alright. I think it's over in Herefordshire, and we'll just buy it online and then go and pick it up with a flatbed at some point. Just going to empty the rest of these silage bales we picked up the other day, because we're going to go and get some more straw bales today or tomorrow to empty that field so that we can go in it with a subsoiler before long. Just going to drop them down next to the trailer, just on this fat piece of soil here, so we know which bales are which. The trouble is, when they're black like this, they match our bales, so we won't know which ones are which. It's the trouble. Alright, well I hope you can see I've just put the revs up a little bit on the throttle. Turns it more into like a skid steer, this telehandler. It's really quite nimble, well behaved when we're unloading silage like this. Don't know if I can unload it with one hand with the other one holding the camera. I've only recently just gotten used to the side squeeze really. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty neat. Got to be careful when you come out of the bales not to nick them with other parts of the Manitou, if that makes sense, with the headstock. These are the difficult ones, just at the end where you just don't want to catch the bar of the attachment on the trailer. It's the trouble. Sometimes handy just to nick them like this out of the way. If you can, reverse back a little bit, like that, and just, there you go. Got to be careful that you don't bend the bars on the trailer or the attachment, but then you can just whip in. I'll have that, thank you. That's that lot unloaded. We've got a mini stack, and now we can go get some straw with the flatbed straw trailer. Never normally go more than 3 high. That's like the max we'll ever go on this farm for silage. I think anything more than that and you just makes a bit of a mess really. Start squishing the bales. Whilst we're here over the road, I want to have a look at the Pottinger, which is just sitting over here somewhere. I left it sitting there for a while, hadn't seen it since last year. It's not ideal leaving her out in the rain over the winter, but it's what we can do for now. Just before we put it away, we busted a shear bolt on the last day and I ran out of shear bolts, which was typical. So I'll whip up to the stores and try and get some more from them Nicholson's. It's a special Pottinger shear bolt. They're made in Austria, these machines, and those sorts of things like that are quite difficult to get hold of. Other than that one though, I think it's pretty good. I've got some more points as well to put on this at some point. It's still not quite worn down, probably another few days worth of work and it would have been worn down, but we'll go and get some more shear bolts for that next week. I've got to head up to Nicholson's as well. And then at the back over there is my rollers, which I need to get ready for spring because the hydraulic ram has gone again and it's leaking everywhere, so it's a little bit of a devil. They're 6 metre rollers, they normally go on the 6R. I've got a pair of new tyres for it as well, which will be pretty good. I don't know of anyone who I could get to fit those tyres now, because I always used to get Diddy to fit the tyres, so I'll have to find a tyre fitter who could fit the new tyres, which I've got in the shed, on the rollers. And then there's also the hydraulic ram, which will have to be re-chromed, because we've rebuilt the insides of the ram, but unfortunately the seals keep going because the ram is so rusted up, it just busts the seals all the time. So I have to get that re-chromed, hopefully before spring, so that's quite a big job really. And then at some point we've got to wash this yard down, the concrete pad. I normally use a bucket for it and then I just do the edges with the brush. Somebody did say I could use one of those sweepers, those road sweepers, but we've already got our budget worked out for this upcoming year, so maybe if we get lucky we'd have a sweeper, but we'll do it with a bucket and brush. And I managed to find a subsoiler in the end. Just speaking to the guy at the moment, it's a Ransom's subsoiler for anyone who knows what they are. It seems to be a pretty old piece of kit. I think it's from like the 1980s and they used to be used on Ford tractors. So we're hoping to buy it off this guy. And the only problem I think with Ransom's equipment is getting the parts. So if anyone knows whether or not I can get the parts for a Ransom's, I think it's called like a sublifter or something like that. That would be great. It's been really, really hard finding this subsoiler, but we have finally found this one. It's so difficult really nowadays with the massive machinery compacting the land all the way lower down, as a lot of people commented, right down beyond the pan. When it's that deep in the ground, you really need a machine which is deep enough to get at it. A lot of the subsoiler options I've looked at just some of them haven't been able to go deep enough. We looked at the McConnell shakerator. Some people say it's a subsoiler, some people say it's a cultivator, but I was hoping we could maybe get away with that, a McConnell shakerator. But it's just, I don't think, going to be deep enough for our small light farm. The compaction is really deep from earlier on, all those years ago, when we've had the carrots, when we've had the sugar beet. The sugar beet crop itself goes down a good 6, 7, 8 inches, especially with the taproot, it goes down even further. And the problem is the compaction is lower down. So we really need something which has got some long enough legs to reach down below the surface, to bust through the plough pan, and then also deeper where the rest of the compaction is. And that's why I said I didn't want too many legs on this subsoiler, because it will be quite difficult to pull because we're going to be going so deep. We might even be going as deep as sort of 14, 18 inches sometimes. And as long as we've got some of the wings on the subsoiler as well, so we can break through and lift up the soil whilst we're going along, that will hopefully crack it and allow some air in to oxygenate the soil. And if there's any machinery manufacturers out there now, I would definitely look at designing or building some sort of subsoiler machine which will be relatively well priced for arable farmers who want to go down the min-till route, which a lot more might be doing in the future. It would be a good solution to build a capable subsoiler. I know we've got some great ones now, but just let's see some new designs, some new subsoilers which are a bit more affordable. I did look at one yesterday and it was about brand new, it was over £10,000, and I know they're really good bits of kit subsoilers, but there's some farmers out there, some small arable farmers like ourselves, who just don't want to spend the best part of £10,000 or £15,000 on a subsoiler. If there was just a two or three leg one which was deep, would do the job. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Stay positive. Thanks for watching today's video. Keep an eye out for the subsoiler, the 135, the Doe show, John Deere 6R launch event we've got coming in the next few weeks. There's loads of stuff this year. I don't think we can go Dragwig Technica, but we've got Llama, which is coming up later on towards May now. It's been delayed, so that's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching. Stay positive, and I will catch you on the next one.